to the cloud. All right, recording beginning. So welcome to Slow Flow Yoga. And I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody so that we have no distractions and so forth. And that's actually what makes no one else being in the video but me, right? So if you need something or you have a question or something, it's me guiding you through a practice. Just know that you can actually come and unmute yourself and ask a question or something. It's really totally fine. If you need something, you don't understand something, I'm okay with that. So just know that you've got the freedom to do that. And so welcome. And I know we have a bunch of people getting the video today, so welcome to you guys too. And so a few things. Number one, you might need a strap today. You might need a strap. So it might not, but if you don't have a traditional yoga strap, you could always use, Ellis, if you have a bathrobe tie or a men's necktie, go grab that. I have a traditional yoga strap, but it's not necessary at all. So I have this little strap, which I love. It was designed by a yoga teacher friend of mine, and it's so wonderful. I bought a bunch from her. She needs to get it on some kind of website because I absolutely love these. So we'll just have it to the side for later, if and when you need it. You may not need it, but if you do, it's really nice to have it nearby. So I'm going to ask you to find your way into a seated cross-legged position. We call this Sukhasana. And the message that I am going to deliver at this moment is a message that I say over and over again, but I feel like it's incredibly important today because Ellis is joining us for the first time. And I want you to know that yoga is a practice of health and well-being for the body and mind. Okay, this is not any type of competition, right? Maybe you certainly want to do at some point, looking at yourself where you are today, maybe where you are tomorrow, maybe where you were yesterday, but we try really not to do comparisons. You meet yourself where you are, okay? So I know you shared with me that you took a class that nearly, killed you with the best sense of humor that you always have. And so the practice certainly may be challenging at times, but it should never feel like you're on a path of death, right? So if it feels like you are dying, then you're pushing yourself too much. So commit to yourself here that you will work within your own limitations. And if that means coming down to child's pose to take a breath or 2 or 10 for as much as you need it, then do that. Right. I think the real reason why I fell in love with this practice is years and years ago, I used to be a typical gym rat, right? I went to every kind of boot camp. And in those days, it was step aerobics and kickboxing and anything to try to keep my body toned and to lose weight, right? And I always felt like I was dying. And I always felt like the teacher was like, stronger, harder, faster, more, right? And I'd go into yoga and they'd say, take it easy, breathe, right? And I was like, oh, okay. So I constantly remind myself of that, right? That there is this balance between effort and ease. So we're going to work on seeking that out today. So I invite you to bring your hands to your heart center, close your eyes, take a couple of good breaths here, right? As we center ourselves, I'm going to share a little quote with you for inspiration. Living a life of integrity in alignment with your values creates inner peace, well-being, and a meaningful life. That is John Bruna, a mindfulness teacher, a thought leader. And so I feel like that so simply aligns with this idea of honoring your body, right? This being a practice of health and well-being. What is your integrity? What is your deepest value? So take a moment to think about what those values, those things in your life that you value. We don't often stop to think about what values we view as important for ourselves. For me, compassion, integrity, and kindness come to mind today. When you act in accordance to your values, you simply feel better about yourself. You feel good about your actions. So I'm quite sure that one of your values is not, how can I rip my body apart? How can I kill myself on a mat, right? So honor your body. And when you're ready, lift that head up, interlace the fingers, all but the pointer. Take a nice breath in and reach those arms up. Good. If the shoulders feel tight, you can always soften the elbows a little bit more. Yeah. And get some nice length out of the side body. Take a good breath in. As you exhale, lean to the left. Good. As you're leaning to the left, just notice what's happening with that right sitting bone, that right hip. Try not to let it lift up. See if you could root down. It never matters how far you go, right? What matters is how you feel. So take a nice breath in, rise back up to the center, and exhale, lean to the other side. Good. Just a nice way to kind of wake up the body and the side. Remember to keep that left sitting bone rooted. Beautiful. One more inhale. And then the next inhale, come back up to center. Release the arms, sweep them out and down. Good. So this is slow flow. We like to take it slow. Slow doesn't necessarily mean easier. Sometimes slow is stronger. On your next inhale, reach the arms up. And on your exhale, bring them back and down really slowly. So you're just awakening the shoulder joint a little bit here. Inhale up. And exhale down. Right, so you don't have to be at the exact same pace as me. One more time, inhale up and exhale down. Good. Next time we bring it up, we're going to come into a twist. So inhale up. As you exhale, twist your body to the left. So the right hand on the outside of that left leg and that left hand to the floor behind you. All right, so this is a first bind of sorts. Right, that right hand is holding or binding, attaching itself to the outside of that left thigh. And you can feel how perhaps you can stabilize yourself, get a little bit more of an anchor when you connect your body parts just like so. So when you inhale, lengthen the spine, grow nice and tall. And as you exhale, see if you can twist or rotate a little bit deeper. Good. 2 more cycles of breath. Good. And now keep your body twisting open to the left. Just turn your head to the right so it kind of centers, right? So now that head is looking right in between the knees. And then take a nice in-breath and lift that left arm up. Right, so the body is still kind of twisting open to the left. Take a really good inhale. And as you exhale, lean the body right. So right shoulder toward right thigh. Yeah. And so that same side body stretch, but yet with a different orientation. Good. Take a couple of breaths. You can keep the head looking toward the center, or you might even shift the gaze upward, look toward the elbow crease, look toward the wrist or the fingers. Getting a nice elongation around that side body. Good, one more breath. Turn the head to look down in between the legs again. Bring that left hand to the right knee or thigh. So you're making an X with the arms, and then pull the middle back backwards, right? So you're really holding on, you're binding, you're bound hand to knee or hand to outside of thigh. And as you pull the middle back backwards, you should feel a nice stretch, possibly in between the shoulder blades. If you let the chin come down to the chest, maybe a nice stretch in the neck. Good. All right, we're going to unfurl forward and up. So with an inhale, release the fingers, uncross the arms, sweep them out and up. Good, and as you exhale, we're going to twist to the right. So let's anchor now, left hand on the outside of that right thigh, knee, or side of the leg, and the left, sorry, the right hand back behind you. I always have to remember that in the mirror image. So we're going to take a few breaths, use that bound hand to leg, right, to give you some anchoring and some traction. Take a nice inhale, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, rotate as deep as what feels good and comfortable and accessible for you. Take two more. When you are ready, you will slowly turn the head to look forward. So the head is looking in between the knees. And then lift up that right arm. Start to find that side body extension. Again, one more big breath in. And then we exhale, we lean left shoulder toward left thigh. Good. You could keep the head looking forward and down, or you can turn that gaze upward. Oh, nice open space. And so the practice of awareness, right? What is it that you feel physically, emotionally, and spiritually? And one more breath. Turn the head to look to the center again, and then we're going to bring that right hand around to find the left, center the torso, pull the middle back backwards, right? Chin to chest. Good. All right. We're going to unfurl that same way. So with an inhale, release the fingers, uncross the arms, sweep them out and up. And as you exhale, bring the hands down by your side. Oh, so simple and sweet. Our first little bind. All right, we're going to uncross those legs, shift our body into a tabletop position. All right, so tabletop is hands and knees. And from here, we're going to shift into a traditional cat and cow. So wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Take a peek in between your legs. If you can see your feet, shift your feet so they hide behind your thighs, right? Really good alignment. All right. Now, let that belly start to soften down. Lift the tailbone up, lift the head, lift the chest, rock a little forward so you get some width in the collarbone. And then when you're ready to exhale, pull that navel up, round your spine, chin to chest, push the hands down and forward, and maybe pull the hips back a little bit toward the heels. Get a lot of space in the back body, like a kitty cat, right, on Halloween. All right, we're going to take a few rounds, traditional cat and cow. Inhale, maybe you tuck the toes this time, soften belly, lift head, lift chest, rock forward. Good. Exhale, untuck toes, round and hunch, pull back a little bit. So explore, move with your breath, right? This is your practice, your way. The inhale brings you to that cow shape, and your exhale brings you to that cat shape. Take two more. And the next time you find yourself in the kitty cat position, pull the hips all the way back to the heels and just connect to child's pose here, right? This is that resting place. And by the way, you do not need an invitation to come here. Anytime you need so, this pose is available to rest your body. So take a nice breath here. Remind yourself it's always available. Good. And then extend your arms nice and long. Lift that head up. Look forward. Rock the body forward. Tuck the toes under and lift the hips and pull back into your first downward facing dog. So I like to start a down dog with kind of a little bit of soft knees, right? A bent knee down dog allows for more extension and elongation of the spine. So let your head go, maybe shake it yes and no. And then you can start to kind of paddle out the feet. So we're bending and pressing, alternate knees and heels, looking good. Nice. All right, let's wake up that side body a little bit more. So bend your left knee, press your right heel back, lean those hips a little bit over to the left, and see if you can look under the right armpit, but keep rooting that right hand. Nice stretch on the right side. And then switch sides, bend the right knee, press the left heel back, dip the hips over to the right a little, look under the left armpit, really nice side body stretch. Good. And then come back to neutral, downward dog, right? Feet should be about hips distance or wider, heels out slightly. Yeah, and then let's lift and elevate both of the heels. So you really get into the neck of the toes. When you lift the heels, can you push the sitting bones or the hips higher and let the head hang low? Keep that nice deep bend in the toes and look forward, rock your body into a plank pose. So a lot of times this is a real awakening moment where we realize, oh, I have to adjust my stance a little bit. So your plank pose, you want to try to have your shoulders over the wrists, right? And the heel over the neck of the toes. And pull that belly up and in, right? And get a little bit of puffiness in the upper back. So it's not as much puffiness as you had in that kitty cat shape, but just a little bit there. So the belly doesn't get saggy. Good. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, simply lift hips, downward facing dog, right? So try not to move the hands or the feet here. The heels don't have to touch. If you can see mine, they're not touching. It's okay. Maybe in time, with some flexibility coming in, they might get closer, but it doesn't have to touch. All right, good. Now, lift your head up, look forward, lift the heels up and start to walk, walk, walk until you make your way to the front of your mat. Feet hips distance, please. We're in a forward fold, right? You can keep the knees bent as much as you need. If those hamstrings are tight here, grab opposite elbows. Right. Frame your head. Good. And then maybe sway the upper body a little bit. Good. And then release the elbows. Good. And let your fingers come to your shins. Fingers come to your shins. Lift up halfway, lengthen. So we're going to hold here, but don't hold your breath. Right. So rock a little bit of weight into the toes. Pull up from the pit of the belly, try to get a nice flat back here. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Take another good inhale. And exhale, fold deeply, chin to chest. Good. We're going to take that 2 more times, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen halfway, rock some weight in the toes. Exhale, fold deeply. Good. 1 more time. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Good. Soften the knees. With an inhale, sweep those arms out and rise on up. Oh, good. And hands come to the heart. Beautiful. So feet are about hips distance. Good. Interlace the fingers all but the pointer, just like we did when we were seated. On an inhale, reach the arms up. Good. On an exhale, lean the body to the right. Good. Lean the body to the right. So standing lateral bend or a standing crescent. Right. So just like earlier, we noted whether our hips were staying grounded. Can you notice if your feet are both equally grounded? Likely that left foot is feeling a little bit of lightness. Can you root it down into the mat a little bit more? Inhale, come back up to the center, and exhale, opposite side, standing crescent. Good. One more breath, keep rooting right foot down. Hands are bound, right? And then inhale, center, release the hands and soften the knees as you forward fold. Again, forward fold. Beautiful. Fingers to shins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Good. Step back to a plank pose. Organize that plank here. Good. Shoulders over wrists. Deepen the neck of the toes. Imagine you can push that mat right through the floor. Get a little puffy in between the shoulder blades. One more breath. Exhale, release your knees exactly where they are. So not into a table, right? Almost like what they call these like girly push-ups. Bend those elbows and lower slowly, slowly, slowly down. Forehead taps. Elbows squeeze in by the ribs. Untuck your toes. Press into the tops of the feet. See if you can just engage the legs and get the kneecaps to lift up. On an inhale, cobra pose. Just a little lift of head and chest. Go wide across the collarbone. Looking good. One more breath in. And exhale, lower forehead down. Press back through child's pose. Tuck toes. Lift hips. Downward facing dog. Right? Nice, sweet, gentle flow. Beautiful. Take 2 or 3 really good breaths here. Mindful inhales and exhales. So you can feel the expansion of belly, ribs, chest, not only in the front body, but in the back body. All right, lift and elevate those heels. This time, bend the knees nice and deeply. So press the belly toward the thighs. Look forward, right? And walk your way to the front of your mat. Take your time. You're going to find yourself again in that forward fold. We call this Uttanasana. Good. Fingers on shins. Inhale, lengthen and lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Good. A little soft bend in the knee for transition. Sweep the arms out. Rise on up. Urdhva Hastasana. Arms reach up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Beautiful. A little sun circle, salute to the sun. We're going to take that 2 more times, mindful and slow. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, soften the knees a bit as you transition and forward fold. Halfway, lift up, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Step yourself back to a plank pose. Organize that plank. Give yourself the opportunity to build some strength, right? Pushing the floor away from you, pulling up from the core. One more breath in. Exhale, release the knees exactly where they are. Bending the elbows. How slowly can you let that upper body lower on down? Untuck the toes, pull the shoulders away from the ears, engage the legs. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, lower. Good. Push back through child's, tuck toes, lift hips, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here before we take that same sweet little routine again. When you are ready, lift and elevate the heels.
Start to bend the knees. See if you can bend them even deeper, really pressing the hips high, belly toward thighs, pushing the hands away, nice shoulder opener, right? Look forward, and you can walk again, or you might even try hopping to the front of your mat. Not necessary, but maybe fun, right? When you arrive, fingers come to the shins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold deeply. With an inhale, arms sweep out to the side and we rise up, Urdhva Hastasana, upward arms. And exhale, hands to the heart. All right, 3 is a charm. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway, lift and lengthen. And exhale, fold deeply. Beautiful. Step back to your plank. Organize your plank. Yeah. Find it. Remember your values. Maybe you want to put your knees down before I ask you to. Maybe you stay here for an extra breath or two because you can. Yeah. When you are ready, release the knees exactly where they are and slowly build upper body strength. Lower, lower, lower down slowly. Untuck toes, roll shoulders back, engage legs. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, lower. Good. Push back through child's, tuck toes, lift hips, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Yeah, so I think having a value of honoring and respecting this body, this house that we are given to live in, is a pretty incredible value. Nice. All right, lift and elevate those heels. Soften the knees, bend those knees nice and deep. Good. Look forward and decide if you want to walk or hop front of your mat. Lengthen when you arrive, halfway. And exhale, fold. Good. Soften those knees for transition. Sweep the arms out. Rise on up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Pause for a moment. Good. Keep the hands at the heart. Step your left foot back behind your right and over to the right. Yeah, maybe this one, Ellis, feels a little bit like ballet-ish. Yeah. All right, so deepen the neck of the toes of that left foot. Interlace the fingers, all but the pointer. Once again, that little steeple mudra called Keshpana. On an inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, lean the body to the right. Yeah. So you might feel even more of a stretch now down that whole left side. Little balance adding in, right? How do we find a little balance? Living a life of integrity, aligned with your values. Good. One more breath in. And as you exhale, bring the body back to center. Release the arms out like wings. Bring that left leg up and around. See if you can cross it on top of the right and bend the right one deeply, right? So this is like a prep for an eagle. Flex those left toes. Good. And then just bring the hands together at the heart. Good. All right. See if you can get the forearms and the elbows to come together. So the entire lower part of the arm, from the tips of the fingers to the elbow, are connected. Lots of balance here. Maybe you can sink down a little deeper. Good. Lift the elbows up a little higher. Draw the palms away from the face. Can you feel that wide spread in between the shoulder blades? Woo, one more breath in. And as you exhale, slowly come out of that bent leg, uncross the legs, sweep the arms out and up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Interlace the fingers, all but the pointer. Opposite side, step right foot behind left. Get deep in the neck of the toes. With an inhale, reach the arms up and lean the body over to the left. Mhm. Good. Try to keep those hips squared off, right? But not taking any risk of aggravating your lower back, right? Pay attention to the choices that you make. Make sure you can breathe well. We're going to transition into that sort of partial eagle. Inhale back to center, arms out like wings, bringing that right leg back and around, cross it over, soften the standing leg. That left leg bends deeper, flex those right toes like crazy, bring the palms together near the heart, and then lift them up toward the face, and really try to glue those forearms together. There's probably still going to be a nice space in between the wrists. You can see how it feels to kind of gaze through that little eye hole there. Maybe the elbows lift up a little higher. Maybe the hands pull a little further away from the face. Maybe the heart rate and the perspiration are beginning to present themselves. How's your breathing? Good. When you are ready to come out, inhale, unfurl the arms, slowly uncross the legs, bring the hands to the heart center. Woo, so good. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Good, fingers to your shins. Inhale, lift up and lengthen. Exhale, fold deeply, step back to a plank pose, right? You could always skip all the goodies in between if you want to just go to down dog, or maybe you lower those knees and work on slowly lowering upper body, right? Untuck the toes, engage the legs, inhale, cobra. And exhale, lower down, press back through child's. Maybe you stay in child's, or lift hips, downward facing dog. Good. All right. From your down dog, we're going to start to open those hips a little bit more. So step the feet together to touch. Just the big toe mounds to touch. Yeah. And then lift your right leg up. You might start with at hip height, kind of circle that ankle or that foot around, wiggle the toes a little bit. And then see if you can stack the hips by extending that right leg up toward the ceiling. Maybe bending the knee, bringing the heel toward your bottom and the knee toward the ceiling. And then you could circle the hip by kind of circling the knee like you're drawing a circle with your knees. Go in both directions, wake up that hip a little bit. Good. And then square off the hip, bring that right knee in toward the belly, look forward, and step that right foot next to that right thumb. Low lunge position here. Good. Come up on the fingertips, lengthen the spine. I'm just going to turn myself around so that when I open, I can still see you. All right. So come up on those fingertips. You deepen the neck of the toes. Look back at that left foot. Wiggle it back further if you need. Yeah. And then with an inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Lots of balance here. A high crescent lunge, or what we call Anjasana. How's your breath? Good. All right. Going to use a little binding action here. So bring your arms out like wings. Look to the left. And then pivot the body to the left, flattening out the left toes, pointing the left toes to the left. The heel comes down. Yeah, so now we're in warrior two. Right arm is over that right leg. Left arm is reaching back behind you. Good. All right. Now take that left arm and see if you can wrap it around your back. So either the back of the hand is attached to the lower back. Some of you might have enough room to kind of make your way to that imaginary pocket on the right side. Lift that right arm up. See if you can sink down a little bit deeper. Good. Take a nice breath in. And as you exhale, reverse. So lean back. That right arm is reaching up and over. And the torso leaning back toward that left leg. Good. All right, so notice how it feels to have that little bind, that little hook behind your back, a little point of traction. Good, one more breath in. And exhale, slowly come back to neutral, unravel the bound arm behind you, bend that right arm and lean forward, resting that right forearm on that right thigh and the left arm up toward the ceiling. So start there. Good. All right. This is Parsvottanasana or side angle pose. Good. Breath in and breath out. Good. Now, some of you might be able to straighten that right arm and slide it down toward the inside of that right foot toward the floor. Yeah, maybe you use a block, or maybe it doesn't get there and that's okay. And you keep it bent, resting on the thigh. Yeah, good. All right, now take that left arm, wrap it around your back again and see what's available to bind. Maybe you can make your way with the fingers to the inside of that right thigh. So that left arm goes around the back. Yeah. And maybe you're nowhere near that thigh, and that's totally fine. Yeah. This is a half bind in side angle pose. How's your breathing? So good. All right, we're going to rise up with an in-breath. So release that left arm, reach it up. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Woohoo! And then cartwheel those hands down and around to frame that right foot. And right foot steps back, plank pose. All right, so I'm going to take my plank pose into a downward facing dog. If you want to go through a little flow here, you can lower those knees, lower down slowly. All right, come up into the cobra and pull back into the down dog. I see that you guys are choosing exactly what I'm choosing. So I think that's a sign that you're honoring your body. Yeah. Woohoo. Good. All right. When you're ready, step those feet together to touch. Lift that left leg up. Yeah. And then see if you can point those toes up to the ceiling, get a bigger stretch. And start to circle out the ankle, wiggle the toes, go in both directions. Yeah, and then bend the knee, heel toward your bottom, and then circle the knee to awaken the hip. Go in both directions, maybe 2 or 3, both sides. Yeah, beautiful. When you're ready, square off the hips, bend that knee in toward the belly, look forward. And left foot steps next to left thumb. Hold here in this nice low lunge, deep in the neck of the right toes. Come up on the fingertips, right? So use the core, pulling up from the base of the pelvic floor and the lower belly. And then with an in-breath, float those fingers up, rise up into a high crescent lunge. Ah, so good. Breath in. And breath out. Nice. And then arms come out like wings. And then we pivot open. So the right foot flattens and points out to the right. We shift into warrior two. Ah, nice to have those feet grounded. Nice. And now take that right arm and wrap it around your back. Just see how that right shoulder feels. Left arm reaches up. Take a nice inhale. As you exhale, reverse the warrior, right? Bringing it back behind you. So notice if you can get a little bit more stability in your pose with that anchor around your back or into your imaginary pocket on the left side. Hello, side body. Good. One more breath. And then slowly coming back and around. Warrior two, yeah. Making our way after a breath or two into that side angle pose. Take your time. Bend that left arm, lean forward, lower that left arm to the left thigh, and right arm up. Right, Parsvottanasana in its traditional way. You could stay right here. Or maybe you want to find a little bit of depth. You can straighten the left arm and slide it down toward the floor, the inside of that thigh. If you find that that right shoulder is completely curling forward,
right, then don't go that far. Yeah. See if you can take that right arm, wrap it around your back, right? See if you can make those fingers find somewhere on that left thigh. Maybe, yeah. How's your breath? Mhm. Good. One more inhale. And slowly release the arm. Use an in-breath to rise back up. Warrior two. Woo! And take a good inhale. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down and around to frame that left foot. Left foot steps back, plank pose. All right, so you can either take a little flow. I'm going to flow it this time, or just go to a down dog. If you're flowing, lower the knees, bend the elbows, lower down slowly. Good. Untuck the toes, activate those legs. Inhale, cobra. Maybe the body's ready for an up dog. Good, and exhale, press back through child's, tuck toes, lift hips, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Beautiful. And then I'm going to ask you after your third exhalation to lower down to the knees and sit back onto your heels into Virasana, Hero's Pose. If Hero's Pose is not available for you, here it's going to look like this, just sitting back on the heels. Yeah. I'm just turning myself this way so you can get a good view. All right. If this is not available, you can sit on a blanket. You can completely come off of the knees and sit on your tush. Yeah. All right. Hands to heart center. On an inhale, reach the arms up. Good. On an exhale, arms out like wings. Bring the right underneath the left. Make an X with your arms. Give yourself a hug. Maybe a little shift back and forth so it really feels like a hug. I keep saying that's what I miss most in this pandemic. I miss hugs. I think they're coming soon. All right, center yourself and then release the fingers, and we're going to double wrap for an eagle bind. So pointing the fingers up toward the ceiling, and then that right hand, bring it closer to the face and see if you can double wrap, maybe bringing the palms to touch. Maybe the fingers align, maybe they don't. They don't come anywhere near aligning on me, right? So meet yourself where you are. Lift the elbows up a little bit, right? Feel the stability in this bind, maybe leaning back, right? Imagine your thumbs are like the mouthpiece on a trumpet, right? Good. Breath in and breath out. Woo. Slowly, slowly coming back through the center. Unfurl the arms, sweep them out and up. And exhale, bring those arms forward, come into a child's pose. Rest the head on the floor, take 2 breaths. Good, and after that last exhalation, roll yourself up, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale like wings, and we're going to cross the other side. Yeah, so this time right arm on top, left arm on bottom. Maybe you get those fingers around to the shoulder blades. A little hug, a little hug. Good. Center yourself and slowly release. Backs of hands touch, and then left hand closer to the face, looking for that eagle wrap. If it's available, you could always stay with the hug. You could always stay with the backs of the hands touching, or even that same complete forearm touching like we did earlier. If you're able to, lift the elbows up a little higher, lean back a little. Imagine your thumbs are the mouthpiece of the trumpet. And breathe, right? So no pose is ever worth losing your breath over. If you stop being able to breathe well, back out. Good. One more. And then slowly come on down to neutral. With an inhale, release the arms out and up. Woo, good. And hands come forward, come back into that child's pose. Let your head come down, breathe. Good. All right, now lifting the head up, lift the hips away from the heels, come back to your table. And then we're gonna take that right leg and lift the right knee up and step it behind the left, right? So I don't know if you can see me well here, but I'm gonna cross over. So you lift that right knee up, step it behind, right? So the knees, it's kind of like when we were standing, when we shifted one leg back behind us, right? And now I want you to walk your hands towards your knees and see if you can separate the feet. Ooh, and sit back in between your heels. The feet are going to have to go wider, right? If this way of getting there is not available, by the way, you can just come to your bottom. You can cross your left over your right, right? That's okay too. All right, so this is Gomukhasana. So this is where you're going to want to have that strap possibly nearby. All right, so no, I'm not doing the mirror image at the moment, but my left leg is on top of my right, right? This is cow face pose. And it's a really intense hip stretch here. So you want to go in this direction. It doesn't mean it's a have to, right? Knee over knee, right? And having the feet or the ankles out equally. So a lot of times I see this. One will be coming completely in and one will become completely out. So if you have to hug them both in, that's okay. If you can get them both out, that's okay. You just want to try to have them in alignment to the best of your ability, right? The closer they come to the body, the less tension. The further away from the body, the more tension, okay? Now, if this feels like you are in a torture chamber and you're saying to yourself, what happened to that integrity business? Yeah, you could always straighten the bottom leg. All right. So if you are feeling like, holy crap, my knees are screaming at me, then straighten the bottom leg and see if you can get knee over knee. Yeah, it's the same action for the hip. So whether that bottom leg is straight or not, it's all good. All right. Sit up nice and tall. Woo. If the leg in front of you, if the bottom leg is straight, flex the foot. Good. All right, now grab onto that strap. Hold the strap in your right hand. Reach that right arm up. Good. Bend your elbow. Bring your left hand to your right elbow and get a nice little stretch here. Good. And then see if you can release that left hand. Wrap it around your back. Take a little bind and see if you can. Some of you might not even need the strap and you can just hook fingers. I'm going to turn myself around just so you can see, right, what it looks like. Right, I'm hooking myself onto the strap. And I'm grateful for my strap at this moment because my shoulders do not allow me to go completely hooked fingers. Maybe yours do, right? Wherever you are, meet yourself there. Good. All right. Now, take a nice breath in. Use that bind as an anchor for stability. Hinge at the hips. Maybe it's just an inch or two. Right? So you're just folding forward a little bit. Maybe it even feels like it's too much and you don't fold forward at all. This is called Gomukhasana. Breath in and breath out. Woo, good. One more if you can. And just as slowly as we went in is how we want to come out. So rise on up slowly, release the strap and unfurl the arms. Woo, lean back, right? Uncross those legs. Good. Bring the feet together, knees open wide. Right? Butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana. So Baddha actually means bound, right? So the feet are bound together, and then we can give a little bit more of a bind by bringing our hands to hold on to the ankles, sit up nice and tall. Good, take a good breath in. And exhale, bend those elbows, lean forward, right? Try to keep length in your spine here. Good. Breath in and breath out. Beautiful. Pose and counter pose, good for the body. Next inhale, rise back up. Oh, good. Bring those knees together. Now, you can either stay seated on your bottom and you can come into the cow face shape on the other side, or you can shift around into table and do it that way we started the other one, right? Left knee behind the right, right? Feet go as wide as you can. And then you bring those hips down in between the legs, or you go, no, thank you. I'm just going to come in here from my bottom. Yes, remember that bottom leg can be straight. And you want to try to align yourself as best as possible with the ankles or the feet in line with each other. So if you need less tension, bring those heels closer to the body. If you feel like you can find a little bit more sensation, maybe you bring the feet a little further away. Woo, yeah, hello hips. How's your breath? I love that I see different options happening here. That is so good. We're going to grab onto that strap unless you don't think you need it. Strap goes in the left hand. Inhale, arm up. Bend that elbow. Bring the right hand to the left elbow and give it a nice stretch. Good. When you feel ready, you can take that right arm, wrap it, bind it around your back, find your way to the other side of that strap, walking the fingers as close as you can to each other and finding your breath. Yes, remind yourself here, what are your deepest values? Integrity, right? Compassion. Maybe you hinge forward. Don't forget about that kindness, right? So keeping length in the spine, deciding how much of a hinge forward is available for you, your hips and your shoulders. Make sure you can breathe well. Maybe you stay upright because that's what's right for you today. If you can give me 2 more breaths, bring them in well. When you are ready, slowly rise up. Come out as slowly as you went in. Release the bind, release the strap. Woo-hoo, yeah, lean back into the hands. Uncross those legs, bring the soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana, walking the hands forward, sit up nice and tall. Maybe this time we bind by holding onto the toes, which allows the spine to round a little bit more. Take a big breath in and exhale, forward fold. Let it soften, let the head go. Different sensation in the spine. So there really are very few of our routine daily actions that we do with our body that put us into a pose or a shape that resembles cow face. Yeah, but the ancient yogis were so brilliant. They had gifts for every little portion of the body to keep us supple and healthy and strong. When you're ready, roll yourself up. Good. Lean back, close those knees, and give yourself a hug. Puja. Maybe the arms hold on to opposite shins or maybe opposite elbows, chin to chest. And so I think very often we understand even what our values are,
but we don't always choose actions that actually align with our values. So we can work on that. When you are ready, lift the head up, release the hands, and slowly lower yourself onto your back. Take your time, maybe releasing the hands, working a little bit of that core if you choose, or maybe just graciously and gratefully plopping down. Woo, good. All right, now hug that right leg in. Extend the left leg long. If you need to keep the left leg bent, by all means do so, but it's probably going to feel like a nice stretch in that psoas muscle. You can just bring that right knee a little side to side, rolling that hip again if it feels good. Nice, and then centering yourself and switch sides. Extend the right, you could always keep it bent, and hug the left. Rolling that left hip a little bit here. Good. And this time when you extend the left leg, reach the arms up and over the head, point your toes and reach the arms back behind you. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And with an exhalation, hug both knees into your chest. Rock and roll a little bit on that lower back. If it feels good, you can circle the lower back. Yeah, good. And then lower down just your left foot, keep the knee bent, and cross the right one over the left. So a knee over knee instead of a figure four. So slide that knee over the knee like a lovely lady cross. Good. All right, now I'm going to give us a couple of options here. Lift that left foot up and see if you can bring your hands to your shins or your ankles. So your left hand is going to be on your right shin or ankle, and that's the one on top. And your right hand is going to be on your left shin or ankle, and that's the one on the bottom. Now, if that's not available, this is the same pose that we did seated. It's cow face, yeah? So if it's not available here for you to rest your head down, maybe you just hold on to the knees if that's what is available for you today. Good. All right, so there's that nice Gomukhasana. You might even rock the hips a little side to side, see how that feels. Woo. Yeah. Good. And then release the hands from those ankles or shins. Yeah. Lower the left foot down and see if it's possible, maybe to double wrap, right? Maybe that right foot can tuck behind the left ankle or calf, maybe. Yeah. Sometimes a double wrap, I know we didn't try a traditional double wrap standing, but sometimes when we're laying down, it's a lot easier. Open those arms out like wings. See if you can use the strength of your core to just lift the feet up and then come into a gentle twist, lowering the knees over to the left and turn the head to look to the right. Now, if this is too much, by all means, unfurl that double wrap or maybe just take a traditional stack knee twist. A much deeper twist here with eagle legs. Make sure you can breathe. It's okay if the right shoulder does not come all the way down, but it's not okay if you can't breathe. Make breath a priority. Good. Using an in-breath to center yourself. Good, lowering that left foot down, uncrossing the right, and extend everything out again. Point toes, reach fingers up and over the head, get really long. And exhale, hug the knees in again. Beautiful. All right, looking for a possible Gomukhasana on the back, lower the right foot down, cross left over right, knee over knee. And maybe that's it. Maybe this is your version of Gomukhasana on your back. Maybe you lift that right foot up and you take the hands to the shin or the ankle, right? Trying to make sure that those feet are in line with each other, and you could rock a little side to side, or maybe stillness feels better for you. Take a couple of breaths here. Yeah, maybe this is more available than the traditional Gomukhasana was when you were sitting on your tush. Good, and we're gonna shift this into that eagle, release the shins, lower the right foot down, maybe left one double wraps or not. Yeah, arms out like wings, take a good inhale. Exhale, let knees relax to the right and head turns to the left. Take at least 3 good breaths here. After that last exhalation, use an in-breath to bring the body back to the center. Good. And slowly uncross those legs. Good. Extend the legs all the way down. Reach the arms up and over the head. Good. This time, make your right leg and your right arm a little longer. And then make your left leg and your left arm a little longer. Good. And then slowly soften both sides. Make your feet wider than your hips, like bring them out maybe even to the edges of the mat. Slide the arms down by your side, palms facing upward, but leave some space between your arms and the side of your body. Let your fingers curl, the palms soften. Relaxing the soles of the feet. Release any tension that may be in your face. You can part your teeth and relax your jaw. Maybe even move that lower jaw side to side. And smooth out the creases in the forehead. And let the muscles of the face and the skin of the face feel like it is just draped over the bones. And relax and soften the belly and the hips. And just for a moment, remind yourself here of your core values. And as you settle into this state of rest, I invite you to pay attention to your natural breathing here. So not one that is controlled by you, but one that just flows freely on its own. I'm gonna stay in this stillness for a minute or two, observing the natural state of your breath. While you hold on to the stillness for a few moments longer, just take this moment to notice how you feel, to notice what you have cultivated for yourself. Allow the very first movement that you bring back into the body be a purposeful breath once again. So take a nice inhale and a nice exhale, maybe even sighing it out. You can wiggle your fingers, you could wiggle your toes, you could even stay still longer if you wanted to. And when you feel ready, you can bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor, and just rock your body onto your favorite side. Right, so whatever side calls you, you can pause there for a moment and eventually make your way back to a comfortable seated position. And when you are settled and arrive, I invite you to bring your hands back to the center of your heart once again. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti He. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. May this practice always be a source of peace for each one of you. Thank you so very much for coming out to practice with me today, for sharing your beautiful energy with me and with each other. And as always, it is my greatest honor to guide you through this ancient and most magical practice we call yoga. So remember to remind yourself what your deepest values are, and to make sure that you are choosing actions that align with those values. Wishing you a wonderful Wednesday. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Let's stop the
Thank you so much.
recording.